the battles we gotta fight that you will never know to keep a show on the air.
Sherri Shepherd, tell me, Reverend. Yeah, let's get into it, because as much as we love Sherri, she could save the tears for a different day, because she really brought it on to herself, if we're being honest.
I agree.
Sherri has been on the air for a very long time. I had forgotten all about he was doing The View.
Yes. So she started as a co-host on The View in 2007, and then she departed in 2014.
Even when she left The View, that bit her in the butt too. Because she left The View hoping to start her own TV show, but the network did not pick her up when she expected them to. And at that point, she had already left The View, right? Which we know The View is no longer on the air, but it's still today one of the top daytime TV shows of all time. But now that Sherri Shepherd has her own show, right? She's on season number 4 and hoping to have season 5, but the show had been canceled.
This is a hard morning for all of us here at Sherri. And I know that you have seen the news, and I'm ready to address it. Our show has not been renewed for another season.
Sherri herself has said that people tell them things that they have to do if you want to stay on the air.
To keep a show on the air, there are things that we have to do that people will tell us. If you want to stay on the air, this is what you got to do.
Now, with all this history, Sherri knows the game. Oh, she knows that there's some things that you should and shouldn't say on the air.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though, Sherri reminds me of like that funny auntie. She reminds me of a funny auntie that you love having in the family, but child, she will embarrass you in public. And when you're playing with people's money, right? But when I say people's money, I mean like the people that's funding the show, right? The advertisers will also fund the show. If the demographic is mostly white, now you're coming onto the show saying offensive things. And it leads to the point where now the advertisers don't want to advertise. That's going to be a problem, right?
That's going to be a problem,
Because she's saying things as far as like, okay, so she says some funny things, right? Like auntie things, like I know she told Megan Thee Stallion, I think she showed up in like this grass looking dress, and all she had up top was some nipple covers, right? And she basically saying to auntie, no, that's not cute.
Fair Oscars after party seemed to have an unwritten theme. It was just a lot of nudity. Megan Thee Stallion wore a dark green gown with only matching green pasties. So this is where I have to put my auntie Sherri wig on. And I say this with all of the love that I have. Ladies, this is not it.
But aunties are honest, right? But I think for TV, she's been a little too honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think for TV, when you start comparing black and white, people don't necessarily like that. Because we never know the color of the faces that's behind the TV screen.
This is true.
Okay, and the way that she made it seem in her other video, it seems as though it's mostly white people behind the TV screen. When she was making the reference to the white model Heidi.
Yes.
And she was saying that if every model looked like Heidi Klum, it would have kept them on the air. So she's basically saying that if they were black, you're not going to be staying on the air as long as Heidi Klum.
I bet you if Heidi Klum had shopped the show around and every model looked like Gigi Hadid, it'd have been picked up immediately.
Well, for that matter, what about Kelly Clarkson? Because as we know, Kelly Clarkson show, from what we thought was being canceled, as well as the Sherri Shepherd show.
We did.
But after further research, it came to our attention that Kelly Clarkson decided that she wasn't going to return to daytime TV.
Yes.
Okay. Kelly Clarkson has the highest ratings in daytime talk show television than the Sherri Shepherd show, the Jennifer Hudson show, has won multiple Emmys for her show.
Yep.
But after the passing of her ex-husband, Kelly decided that she no longer wanted to do daytime television. Not because her show was canceled. Now, I know it's 2 different networks that the show are airing on.
Yeah.
However, had Kelly Clarkson not decided to depart from daytime television, her show would still be up and running.
It sure would. There's no indication about Kelly Clarkson's show canceling. I didn't even realize that Jennifer Hudson's show was still on there.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, and what I gather, the people are saying, they're questioning, hey, why is Sherri show canceling and not Jennifer Hudson show? I mean, I've watched the Sherri Shepherd show a couple of times, and I do like Sherri Shepherd. I do like her show. I like what she brings to daytime television.
Yeah.
Jennifer Hudson, I've never really watched her show before.
No. But yet and still, though, like they said, the Jennifer Hudson show is actually more prone to going viral.
That's what it is. Which is crazy to me because I've never even heard nothing about the Jennifer Hudson show. But like you said, we thought it was canceled. But it's still on air. What, going on its 5th season?
Going on its 5th season.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that means that the Jennifer Hudson show and the Sherri Shepherd show actually started up at the same time. Basically.
Yes.
Because they're both on season 4. Going into season 5, only Sherri's is getting stopped. We're not from a daytime TV, background. So we actually had to dive into the type of demographics that they prefer on these shows, right? The advertisers, the owners. Upon diving in, they actually prefer a demographic of women between the age of 25 and 54, right? But Sherri demographics are women of the age of 60 and over. It's her average demographic. So much so that when we posted our Sherri Shepherd video, it said that our demographics were only women, right? So that's key number 1. And then number 2, that were 65 years of age and older. So already you are outside of that demographic that the advertisers look for, which would keep your show in the air. So that leads me to believe maybe she has said something that a younger generation would be offended by, right?
She's not as relatable to the younger generation as she is to the more mature crowd of women.
Exactly. Because she can come across as that embarrassing auntie. And if you come across sometimes as that embarrassing auntie, you only see that auntie every now and then.
That's true,
right? And if you're not appeasing, right, because you're not, they're trying to pull the strings in the background, and they're trying to tell her, if you want to stay on the air, her words, not ours. I feel like she's choosing not to do that. Right? You've been on television, daytime television, way too long to go against the people that's funding your job. Anybody that has a regular 9-to-5 job, you always have different thoughts in your mind. But when you go to work, do you always say them?
No.
Unfortunately.
I mean, these are people that's cutting a check at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I mean, we may not agree with the rules, the regulations, but I mean, they're in place for a reason you have to follow. But then this is my concern. It brings me to the Tyra Banks situation, right?
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Now, if we do continue to move that way, if we do continue to just minimize our thoughts and our opinions because these people are cutting the check, and we're just doing whatever we need to do to stay on air, so she said is what Tyra Banks has done on her show, right? Then later down along the line, how does that affect you? Because now you have all these people coming at you saying that all these negative things from Tyra Banks, actually, all she was doing was what the network told her to do.
Right.
She didn't really necessarily stand up for herself or what she believed in because she was too busy chasing check. You know what I mean? Maybe now Sherri feels as though, hey, you know what? I mean, I'm in a different position, different space. Since it's now 2026, we're not living in those days, we're not living in those times. So now I have more of a voice now than what I would have had back then.
Right.
I have full autonomy over my name show. Like, this is her namesake. This is her show. I mean, under her. So it's like, I'm not going to do everything that y'all want me to do because I'm in control of Sherri.
What?
Okay.
She's in control of Sherri, but she's not in control of the chicks.
Exactly. Or the network.
When they're choosing to let you go because maybe you're saying some things that's offending their advertisers. Well, they might like you as a person, but that's not going to create the environment and appease to the demographics that they're looking for. Because at the end of the day, it's still business. And it's unfortunate, but you kind of have to play a game if you want to continue to get paid. And Sherri knows that. She knows. One thing I will point out, Sherri said, all hope is not lost. She has a steady viewership. But what's happening is, upon our research, it's stagnant. It's not increasing. They want to see year over year, like Jennifer Hudson, an increase of viewership in the correct direction, right? She just has the same stagnant loyal group. You want loyalty, but in this case, when you don't have loyalty by the demographics that the advertisers want, then you're not appeasing to the correct crowd, and you still just get the X, right? But Sherri said that all hope is not lost. Sherri said that she actually has, I believe, until the fall in order to still save the show. So, Sherri, please, okay, go by the guidelines a little bit, okay? Be a little, not as brutal, maybe, in your delivery, or maybe even as in-depth with, you know, her real thoughts, so we can keep you on the air a little bit longer.
So Sherri, we want to see you on daytime television, okay? We fall in the demographic audience that you want to appease to. We know that you have your little support, your fans. You have people in the industry that's rooting for you, Sherri. I seen something about Niecy Nash, which is a good friend of hers, just telling Sherri to keep moving forward, to keep progressing, you know. So Sherri, we're here for you. Okay, and we want to see more of you.
In our next video, we will actually be doing a deeper dive into Sherri Shepherd's show compared to the demographics and ratings of some other daytime talk TV shows.
Yes, so make sure y'all subscribe, and just know we welcome all feedback, okay? Let us know what we can continue to do to get better for the viewers. So until next time, make sure you like and make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend, okay? And we'll see you back next time. Bye.